delegates, and fellow Americans, I humbly and gratefully accept your nomination for the presidency of the United States.
Campaign says she felt overheated and she went to her daughter's apartment to
watch this here,
bearings.
folks.
Let's watch this video for a second.
Yeah, watch the video. Watch her fall. She can't even walk to the car. There she almost falls.
See her apparently almost falling.
You can make a difference.
Where's your mask, Hillary? Where's your mask?
Too much to say.
Well, Hillary's coughing fit lasted a full 2 minutes. Even when it finally subsided, her voice still sounded strained.
You're a great amen chorus. Thank you.
And I want to thank Congresswoman Marcia for hosting us.
Unbelievable.
I've been talking so.
Gotta take the microphone away from you.
Every time I think about
cough.
Trump, I get allergic.
Okay. Had to come up with something to cover up the coughing spell. Had to come up with something.
Boy, we have 63 days to go.
I remember those when you're watching that thing and the way the press was basically covering for her, folks. I mean, they were covering for her. It's amazing how much they covered for her during all of this.
At community colleges, at apprenticeships run by labor unions and businesses.
And businesses. Labor unions and businesses. Yeah.
Because we're going to have a lot of jobs from building infrastructure to coding. Creating new apps.
I
don't know who created Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
But I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Again, that was really funny. Pokemon go to the polls.
Just for
that
the
was
record,
funny.
are you a progressive or are you a moderate?
I'm a progressive, but I'm a progressive who likes to get things done. And I know how to find common ground, and I know how to stand my ground.
Clinton, is Bernie Sanders tough enough on guns?
No, not at all. This has gone on too long, and it's time the entire country stood up against the NRA.
We can raise our voices, but I come from a rural state, and the views on gun control in rural states are different than in urban states, whether we like it or not. Congress does not regulate Wall Street. Wall Street regulates Congress, and we have got to break off these banks.
Voted to save the auto industry. He voted against the money that ended up saving the auto industry. I think that is a pretty big difference.
Well, if you are talking about the Wall Street bailout, where some of your friends destroyed this economy,
you know.
Excuse me, I'm talking.
Let him respond.
Oh, yeah, way to go there. Fried chicken there. Fried chicken.
Let me tell my story, you tell yours.
I will.
Your story is for voting for every disastrous trade agreement and voting for corporate America. Did I vote against the Wall Street bailout when billionaires on Wall Street destroyed this economy?
Doing it, and now you're just starting to think of solutions.
Well, actually,
I will bring back jobs. You can't bring back jobs.
Well, actually, I have thought about this quite a bit.
Yeah, for 30 years.
I have, well, not quite that long. I think my husband did a pretty good job in the 1990s. I think a lot about what worked and how we can make it work again.
Well, he approved
3 million
NAFTA.
new jobs,
He
a
approved
balanced
NAFTA,
budget.
which is the single worst trade deal ever approved in this country.
Incomes went up for everybody. Manufacturing jobs went up also in the 1990s, if we're actually going to look at the facts. When I was in the Senate,
I had a number of trade deals.
You can't win that debate, but you know that if you did win, you would approve that, and that will be almost as bad as NAFTA. Nothing will ever top NAFTA.
That is just not accurate. I was against it once it was finally negotiated and the terms were laid out. I wrote about that in...
You called it the gold standard. You called it the gold standard of trade deals. You said it's the finest deal you've ever seen.
No.
And then you heard what I said about it, and all of a sudden you were against it.
Well, Donald, I know you live in your own reality, but that is not the facts. The facts are, I did say I hoped it would be a good deal, but when it was negotiated, which I was not responsible for, I concluded it wasn't. I wrote about that.
So is it President Obama's fault? Is it President Obama's fault?
Even announced. Look, there
Secretary, is it President Obama's fault?
There are
because he's pushing it.
There are different views about what's good for our country, our economy, and our leadership in the world. And I think it's important to $1 trillion to the debt.
But you have no plan.
Oh, I do.
Secretary,
in fact,
you have no plan.
A book about it. It's called Stronger Together. You can pick it up tomorrow.
That's about all you.
At the bookstore or at an airport near you.
We're going to move to.
But it's because I see this.
Anyway,
well, at least I have a plan to fight ISIS.
No, you're telling the enemy everything you want to do.
No, we're not.
See, you're telling the enemy everything you want to do. No wonder you've been fighting. No wonder you've been fighting ISIS your entire adult life.
Well, that's go to the please, the fact checkers, get to work.
You are unpacking a lot here, and we're still on the issue of
lots of other things, and it would be beautiful. But we have no leadership, and honestly, that starts with Secretary Clinton.
All right, you have 2 minutes on the same question to defend tax increases on the wealthiest Americans, Secretary Clinton.
I have a feeling that by the end of this evening, I'm going to be blamed for everything that's ever happened.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, why not? Just join the debate by saying more crazy things. Now, let me say,
there's nothing crazy about not letting our companies bring their money back into their country.
This is Secretary Clinton's 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, well, let's start the clock again, Lester. We've looked at as a man of great dignity, and I could tell how much it bothered him and annoyed him that this was being touted and used against him. But I like to remember what Michelle Obama said in her amazing speech at our Democratic National Convention. When they go low, we go high. And Barack Obama went high, despite Donald Trump's best efforts to bring him down.
Mr. Trump, you can respond, then we're going to move on to the next segment.
I would love to respond. First of all, I got to watch, in preparing for this, some of your debates against Barack Obama. You treated him with terrible disrespect. And I watched the way you talk now about how lovely everything is and how wonderful you are. It doesn't work that way. You were after him. You were trying to. You even sent out, or your campaign sent out, pictures of him in a certain garb. Very famous pictures. I don't think you can deny that. But just last week, your campaign manager said it was true. So when you tried...
Well, I hope the fact checkers are turning up the volume and really working hard. Donald supported the invasion of Iraq.
Wrong.
That is absolutely proved over and over again.
Wrong.
He actually advocated for the actions we took in Libya.
I have much better judgment than she does. There's no question about that. I also have a much better temperament than she has. You know, I have a much better. She spent, let me tell you, she spent hundreds of millions of dollars on an advertising. You know, they get Madison Avenue into a room, they put names. Oh, temperament, let's go after. I think my strongest asset, maybe by far, is my temperament. I have a winning temperament. I know how to win. She does not have how to win. Wait, the AFL-CIO the other day, behind the blue screen, I don't know who you were talking to, Secretary Clinton, but you were totally out of control. I said, there's a person with a temperament that's got a problem.
Secretary Clinton.
Woo, okay. Let's...
Trump going after her in this entire thing here. I mean, just watching this all over again, remembering those debates, literally, I mean, it's like she was saying that how he treated Barack Obama, but yet everybody just forgot what these people did to Barack Obama in South Carolina, what they did in terms of basically, I mean, the whole thing was just unbelievable, folks. In the debates, during the primary, going to New Hampshire from Iowa, the way that she treated Barack Obama, and she has the temerity to turn around and say that Trump treated Obama with disrespect. Listen, folks, they say that politics is a blood sport without the blood. But you go after everybody hard because you're trying to win. I mean, you can't be a sissy. You can't go in there weak. You've got to go on offense. Offense is the name of the game in politics. Once you're on defense, you can't be playing defense in politics. It does not work. It does not work.
Let's talk about two important issues that were briefly mentioned by Donald. First, NATO.
And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there. And she was married. Then all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I better use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. I can do anything.
Bill Clinton, far worse, minor words, and his was action. His was what he's done to women. There's never been anybody in the history of politics in this nation that's been so abusive to women. So you can say any way you want to say it, but Bill Clinton was abusive to women. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women and attacked them viciously. 4 of them are here tonight. One of the women, who is a wonderful woman, at 12 years old, was raped at 12. Her client, she represented, got him off, and she's seen laughing on 2 separate occasions, laughing at the girl who was raped. Kathy Shelton, that young woman, is here with us tonight. So don't tell me about words. I apologize for those words. But it is things that people say. But what President Clinton did, he was impeached. He lost his license to practice law. He had to pay an $850,000 fine to one of the...
Take a look right here, folks. Clinton is P-I-S-S-E-D. And Hillary knows too, because the Billy Bush tapes came out prior to the debate. And guess what? He was ready with an answer. He apologized, locker room talk, but he said, you know what? Anything that happened in terms of was basically, he was just talking. And like he said, at that point in time when you're walking around or whatever, you know, the groupies and the girls and the way that they are, some of them, they're going after people. If they're the ones that are being promiscuous, if they're the ones that are starting the situation, if they're the ones that are, you know, going after the men, well, listen, hey, if it's 2 consenting adults, perfectly fine. But what he basically said was, mine was basic all talk. Clinton was the one, President Clinton, Bill Clinton was the one that actually was involved in rape, in assault, in using the power of just the power dynamic between a boss and an intern. And what he did, far more worse than anything that, you know, Trump did or said, you know, said or did. And that thing completely back. People thought at that time that it was over for Trump, that it was over. But you know what? It wasn't, because he basically made the case to the American public, apologized for his words, said that, you know what, again, locker talk, different time, different place, whatever. But people understood that. But when they put the dynamics together of what Trump said and what Clinton did, that whole thing, and that's what the press just never understood, folks. That's what the press never understood. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you haven't done so already, we'd love for you to subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow us. You all know what to do. Take a look at our video links above and below. Comment. We'd love to hear what you have to say. My final thoughts: when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.